No, you cannot ask that question.
Not a fair question.
Not it.
All right, Sophia.
When was the first time you saw a hay bale? The first time.
I was probably too young to remember.
Okay.
I'm sure it was like when I was 2 years old.
Whose chair am I taking?
Mine. My happy plate done.
Happy place.
Okay.
Ellie Mae.
Kate, Ellie, what's your question?
How old were you when you first drove the tractor?
Just before my 10-year-old.
That's a good question.
That's a good one.
Just before my 10th-year-old, I was still just barely 9.
So explain the tractor and some details.
It was a Massey Harris row crop 44, and it had been converted to wide front wheels, so it wouldn't be so difficult for me to drive at that early age. And it had been converted from gasoline to butane at the time.
Caden had his hand up.
Well, I want to ask a follow-up question. What was your task?
Yeah, what were you doing?
What were you doing with it?
I was in that field between the house and the lake, and I was plowing it for that year. It had weed in it earlier, and I was plowing it.
So you had to plow.
All right, Caden, you can ask. Now do you have a mouthful? Okay, now you can ask. You can chew and talk. I know you have a big enough mouth. You can do it.
So let it fall out.
So, with cars, do you need a bearing to attach the wheel, or can you just attach it on without the bearing? Because the axle spins.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
That chair is
If
fine.
if you don't have bearings, it's going to wear out real fast.
You should be able to do it now.
A bearing is necessary to make for low friction. If it's just metal on metal rubbing, it's going to wear out real fast.
Okay.
It needs the oil or grease a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
2 questions. Why did you marry grandma, and why did you want kids?
Next question.
Why did you want kids?
Hello?
Why did you want kids?
I want kids?
Why did you want them?
What'd you do?
Why do I want kids? Because that was always an essential part of my life. I was a member of a large family, and I couldn't imagine growing up without children.
Tell us. How about you tell us about when you met Grandma?
She had 2.
The other one was why did you marry grandma?
What? Tell us about when you met Grandma.
He was a hot babe at HP.
She looked good.
Have you seen the photos?
No,
We're asking him to tell the love story.
Grandma was really pretty. Yeah. Tell us a love story.
Grandma was quite cute.
Yeah. So that got your attention at first. What else was there?
Well, she wore really nice jeans.
Oh my God. Okay, we don't want to know any more of this.
What was your first dog?
Next question over there.
Sophia?
Didn't hear that one, I guess.
Wow.
When was the first time you moved a hay bale?
She told a hay bale.
It is.
Well, probably when I was 5 years old. Just push it in the barn a little bit and pick them.
All right, Ellie.
Have you ever ridden a cow? And how many times?
Have you ever ridden a cow?
No, I didn't, but my brothers did. They played around with cows sometimes. And sometimes they would go out there and grab them by the tail. And
That's a bad idea.
And let the cow run and swing them around in directions.
Y'all ever heard of cow tipping? Did people really do cow tipping where they
We
cow
did.
sleeps upright and you tip them?
No.
All right, Alexis.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat? There's so many things. You know, that's a question that's impossible to answer. There's so many good things to eat.
Favorite thing to drink is Diet Coke.
Time to go.
And anyone has any more?
Maybe you should be more specific. What's your favorite thing to eat from the garden?
Broccoli.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Did you hear that the cows got in again and ate the garden?
Oh no.
They didn't eat the turnips though. Is that what Richard said?
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
but the turnips?
I love the turnips.
When Rebecca,
What the turnip?
No, they had the turnip greens,
Turnip.
but they were able to harvest the
Rebecca was
turnips.
having a lot of fun growing
Oh.
potatoes.
I've got a question for you. What's your earliest childhood memory?
You have to know the layout of the house. Let's put it this way, where the house is today, inside the ring of cedar trees, we had a big white house. And it had a window about that high, looking out the north window. And a thunderstorm came up and it started to rain real hard. And the cows hauled, what's the proper word here?
I'll bet.
That's it, hauled butt to get under the roof of the barn. I know I was wearing diapers.
He was 5.
No, I was probably two, and I ran through the window to watch him do that. And I think that barn was gone within a year. My dad tore it down and reused a lot of the wood on the barn. He built another place. That's it.
Alright, so Dan, what was your favorite game you played?
Favorite game?
That's a good one.
sport.
Ah, sports.
Ooh.
To play.
Ooh. Tough one.
I got a follow up on that one.
What we,
Which were you best at?
At 5 years old, what was your favorite?
Yeah.
it was probably just throwing the ball around.
That's a sport? Baseball?
Mhm.
Baseball
Yeah.
maybe, or football? Football.
Didn't matter.
We sure played a lot of baseball.
Which one did you prefer?
It was a predecessor to baseball,
What do you prefer when you got to playing? Football or baseball?
softball.
Softball.
Softball, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at school they wouldn't let us play with the hard ball. Because it hit in the eye and so on.
Uh-oh.
So, when we got into organized sports like 5, 6, 7, 8th grade, every Monday we would go out to the field and we would choose sides. For instance, me and Louie would choose. We had like 3 grades to choose from. So, and we got to choose players from all the other grades. And that was our team for the week. And our teacher would actually keep score. She'd list players and keep score. And we'd keep the same team for the full week, and we'd go out at recess and it was 4-3 when we quit last night. Okay, who's up now? And so on. So we pitch and bat and run.
You have weekly total, you mean?
Huh?
Like you play for the full week to see who wins?
What was the prize?
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights?
Play again.
But again, next week we show size the 2 other captains.
Darren had a follow-up.
Which sport would you say you were best at? Including volleyball.
What's a volleyball?
That's nice.
It's a sport where it's volleyball.
He's like,
It's volleyball.
He's answering it. He's answering you.
At volleyball, you played in this room. It had a tall ceiling, you had a tall back, and you had just a screen window up at the top and the back, which is the same width as a regular court. And the difference was you could hit the ball off the wall. You could bump it off the wall to go to the other side.
Have you ever seen a racquetball court where you're like in a box playing a cube?
Like on TV?
You'll see.
Racquetball?
We hasn't answered
You-
another question not yet.
You're looking at me
Hold
like
on.
I'm speaking a different language.
Yeah, well, it's all right. We'll show her one day. You're still the answer.
All right. So what sport were you best at? Would you say?
Volleyball wall.
Okay.
I formed a team one year and because of my aggressive play, I hit the ball hard off the wall. And when you hit the ball hard off the wall, the other people can't react.
Yeah.
And then when you serve, you have to have one foot against the back wall. You hit it off the back wall below a certain line. Or hit it into the corner, and if you hit it into the corner, it was impossible. So I got really good at standing in the back, hit hit it in the corner, and after two quick bounces, the other person can't possibly.
Yeah.
And I recruited a bunch of other players from the school that pick it up really quick.
Is it Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all right.
Yeah. All right, Lex. You got another one?
Okay.
What's your favorite song?
Song?
Mm-hmm.
And where and when did you hear it for the first time?
Well,
I don't think Grandma can answer that.
I think you could figure out his favorite song. I feel like you have
What's
one.
one of your favorites?
I know your favorite song. I feel like.
Satisfaction.
She came in through the bathroom window.
Mm-hmm.
When was the first time you heard it?
You remember?
I was at this. I was seeing this girl in Lindsay during that period, and she had just bought that song, that
Album?
White Album. What's the album? White Album.
Oh, is this the Beatles or something?
Mm-hmm. His favorite song.
Who was it?
It was Beatles.
No, who's the girl?
Some art. Did you know Lisa?
Well, Lisa Arnold. There's a Lisa Arnold that's John's age.
Yeah, it was her. It was her old sister
Yeah.
And where were you when you heard it?
at her house.
Okay.
There's another question. Another question?
I got one. The kids don't have one.
Yeah.
Did you see your brothers at school a lot?
Rarely.
Yeah. Mostly your.
High school. Well, so of course I saw him on the bus, and maybe I saw him between classes, but we were just a social strata, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
we needed to talk. And some of that recognized him.
I want to be spotted with that guy.
So Richard was a freshman when you were a senior, right?
No, he was
Or so.
eighth grader.
Oh,
4 years difference.
Okay.
Oh.
Sylvia?
What's your favorite place to travel to, or what was your favorite place to travel to?
How could you even know?
Anyone could
You
even.
didn't know anything except Lindsay. You had no idea what the rest of the world was like. And at least with you kids, you now have some idea what the rest of the world was like, where you could see things. I had no idea what was out there.
Well, then, to follow up with that, then what was the place you wanted to go?
Anywhere.
You didn't have like a place that you want, mountains or the ocean or
Well,
country, something you really
it
want to see.
depends on, you go through a long
Burleson.
learning period where you see what is out there and what it's like, and you start dreaming about going places. And you start you read anything you can about places to go. And you pick up any book that you can that shows you what different places look like. And I know that when I was in junior college, I read everything I possibly could in books and magazines about travel places, and I had this list of fantastic places I wanted to go to that I had seen in pictures and whatnot.
Do you have any memories of those?
Sure,
What are some?
Yosemite Valley.
Done.
Check.
Did a good job in California.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain National Park,
Done.
Yellowstone,
Done.
Wyoming,
Done.
well, not Wyoming, but
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon. How could you skip that one?
So did you want to work in California, or was that just how it happened? Was that just luck?
Just luck. I got a job offer and it was a great place. It was near Yosemite, on and on and on.
What was the first place you went other than Lindsay?
Your first trip, Oklahoma. How old were you and where'd you go?
First real trip I went on was actually to Mexico. I went with some guys from school and we just loaded up in a car, 4 of us, and drove to San Antonio and spent the night. And we drove to Rio Grande Valley and spent the night with some relatives of one of the boys. And that night we drove across the river to Mexico, and